Welcome to another enlightening podcast from Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com, where we question everything. All you have to do is remember your future. By the Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com team. There is a moment, usually in the quiet of the early morning or the stillness of the late night, when you catch a glimpse of it. It is rarely a conscious choice. It feels more like a visitation. It's a flash of a life that feels more real than the one you are currently living. It's the feeling of walking across a stage to accept an award, your palms slightly sweaty against the polished wood of the podium. It's the sensation of shaking hands with a partner you haven't met yet, feeling the specific warmth and texture of their skin. It's the sound of applause rising from a room you have never physically entered, washing over you like a wave of validation. We usually dismiss these moments as daydreaming. We call them wishful thinking, fantasy, or mere escapism from the drudgery of the present. We chide ourselves for getting lost in our heads, telling ourselves to get back to the real work. But what if these moments are anything but a distraction? What if they are the most important data your brain can process, a transmission from a self that already exists, waiting for you to catch up? I want to propose a radical shift in perspective. We are often told to plan for the future or achieve our goals. Planning, however, is a mechanical process of logistics, timelines, and spreadsheets. Achieving is a physical act of grit and persistence, a grinding forward motion against the resistance of the world. But remembering? That is spiritual. It is an act of claiming what is already yours. The paradox of the pre-memory. The fundamental problem with traditional goal setting is that it is almost entirely anchored in the past. We look at our current bank balance, our current fears, our current social circle, and our current limiting beliefs, and we extrapolate a slightly better version of ourselves into tomorrow. We build the future out of the bricks of yesterday. This is why most goals fail. They are simply too small. They are the past dressed up in new clothes, safe and predictable. You cannot solve a new problem with the same old thinking, and you certainly cannot build a new life with the blueprint of an old one. To truly change the trajectory of your existence, you must do the opposite. You must remember a future that is so vivid, so potent, and so exquisitely specific that it physically pulls you toward it. You must break the tyranny of causality. You must allow the future to dictate the terms of the present. When you remember your future, you aren't just imagining it. You are experiencing it. Neuroscience tells us that the brain does not know the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one. When you visualize yourself succeeding with intense sensory clarity, your brain fires the same neurons it would fire if you were actually succeeding. You are building the neural pathways in advance. You are laying down the tracks for the train of your life to run on, ensuring that when you encounter a fork in the road, your subconscious automatically steers you toward the path that aligns with that pre-established memory. The mechanics of remembering. How do you do this practically? It's not about passive waiting or wishful thinking. It is about active excavation, digging through the debris of the present to uncover the artifacts of your future. 1. Dive into the sensory pool. Close your eyes. Don't just see the future, inhabit it. What does the air smell like? Is there a texture to the fabric of the chair you are sitting in? Can you hear the ambient noise, the hum of an engine, the clinking of glasses, the distant traffic? Who is standing next to you? What is the temperature of their hand in yours? The more sensory data you feed your brain, the more real the memory becomes, shifting it from a vague hope to a tangible reality. 2. Reverse engineer the timeline. Once you have the memory of the end state firmly entrenched, ask yourself, what had to happen the week before this moment for this victory to be possible? Then ask, what had to happen the month before that? What was the single most difficult step I had to take to get here? You are not guessing the future. You are retracing the steps of a journey you have already completed in the higher planes of your mind. 3. Feel the emotion immediately. The future memory feels like relief and profound joy. It feels like the exhaustion of a marathon mixed with the ecstasy of crossing the finish line. You need to feel that emotion right now in the cells of your body. This is the secret fuel of high achievers. When you feel the joy of the achieved state today, you are borrowing energy from tomorrow to power your actions today. You are charging your battery with the electricity of a future current. The death of hope. There is a fine line between remembering your future and merely hoping for a future. Hope is passive. Hope is standing on the shore looking at the ocean, wishing you were a fish, feeling the spray of the water, but never diving in. Hope is the currency of those who feel powerless. Remembrance is active. To remember your future is to claim it. It is to acknowledge that the version of you in 5 years exists right now, shimmering just out of reach, but fully formed. That version of you is not a fantasy. It is a fact waiting to be realized. Confronting the inner critic. Naturally, when you attempt this, a voice will arise. It will sneer, "This is ridiculous. You're just lying to yourself. Who do you think you are?" Do not fight this voice. Simply recognize it as the security guard of your old identity. Thank it for its service, and remind it that you are no longer living in that old building. When the critic argues that the future is uncertain, you simply respond, "It is not uncertain. I was just there." When you adopt this mindset, your actions change radically. You don't try to become that person. You start acting as that person right now. The future self isn't a destination to arrive at. It is a voice to listen to, a compass to follow. What is your future self telling you? If you listen closely, right now, what would the you of 2035 say about this very day? Would they say, "I wish I had worried more about the small stuff"? Or would they say, "I wish I had started sooner. I wish I had been braver. I wish I had trusted the vision"? The beautiful truth is that you don't need to invent a new identity. You don't need to conjure a stranger from the ether. You just need to tune into the frequency of the one you already are, but have not yet met. The future is not a stranger coming to meet you at a fixed point in time. It is a reflection in a mirror that you are slowly, day by day, turning to face. All you have to do is remember. Remember the taste of the champagne. Remember the weight of the keys to the new house. Remember the profound silence of the room after you have finally spoken the truth you were too afraid to utter. Remember the quiet hum of contentment as you sit in a life that is entirely your own. Stop trying so desperately to make it happen. Start acting like it already has. The universe and your magnificent mind will conspire to do the rest. The path is already laid out before you. You just have to close your eyes, remember where it goes, and take the first step in the dark. Don't forget to sign up to our mailing list, follow our social channels, donate if you're able, and question everything, with more free blogs and life-changing books at BeAwakeAwareAlive.com. Thanks for listening to another enlightening podcast from BeAwakeAwareAlive.com, where we question everything.